Are you a Toronto realtor and looking to take your business to the next level? Welcome to Toronto Realtor Resource Center. If you're a real estate professional in Toronto or surrounding area, then this podcast is for you. If you're looking to take your business to the next level, stay tuned everyone. This show will bring you all the tools, tips, and resources to help you crush it in your marketplace. Each week, I'll be bringing in Toronto's top minds, such as top-performing realtors, educators, coaches, and many other industry-related professionals in order to tap into their arsenal of resources to help you take your real estate business to the next level. I'm Leo Falkowski, mortgage broker with Dominion Lending Center's Mortgage Loans Canada. As a top mortgage broker for over 20 years, realtors have been instrumental in my personal success, and this show is my tribute to you. Welcome back once again, guys, to another episode of Toronto Realtor Resource Center. And today we've got Ethan Beute, VP of Marketing at BombBomb. This is going to be an awesome one, guys. For those not familiar with Ethan, Ethan's got a background in and passion for brand strategy and content. To help people communicate, connect, and convert more effectively using simple videos, he produces BombBomb blog posts, videos, newsletters, webinars, social posts, stage presentations, and more. Prior to joining BombBomb, he decided the marketing efforts for local broadcast television stations and websites in Chicago, Illinois, Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Colorado Springs, Colorado. BA University of Michigan, MBA, University of Colorado, Colorado Springs, a happy husband and father. Ethan's a big fan of fresh air, clean water, and warm sunshine. And without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right in. Wow, Ethan, that's quite the resume and intro, and thanks so much for joining us today. What's going on?
Just excited to be on. I really appreciate you reaching out. I appreciate the kind words at the open and looking forward to sharing some ideas that we've picked up by working with tens of thousands of real estate professionals.
I cannot wait. But before we go ahead and dive right there, maybe fill in some gaps and give us a glimpse about your personal story.
I found myself in local television as a career. It was I did an internship at a television station while I was still in college at the University of Michigan. It was just a really natural fit for me. It was a lot of fun. I did a lot of writing. I did a ton of video editing. When I came in, it was at the point at which nonlinear editing, where you could take your video clips and your graphics and your music and any VO that you have and that kind of a thing and just throw it all into a computer and chop it up and make spots on your own. And so I came up in that situation, and I did that in Grand Rapids, Michigan, moved to Chicago, moved back to Grand Rapids with a wife and a son. I got married while I was in Chicago.
Oh, nice.
And then we came out to Colorado Springs about it's almost 11 years ago. And so I came out to work at the NBC television station here, where I met the co-founders of our company. One of them was running internet sales, and I was running the marketing team at the local NBC station here. And so I caught on to what he was doing with a really good friend of his, who I also met. And I started doing project work for them about 7 or 8 years ago, before BombBomb was even a service that you could subscribe to. It was this idea and this thing that was being built. And so I got involved with them and started making some of the initial videos and some of the initial nurture sequences if someone started a free trial, to get them to understand more about the service and consider subscribing. And then I just knew from there, after working with them for a while and exploring the idea in principle and in earnest, I knew it was something that I wanted to dedicate myself to. And I knew that when the company got to a point where they could make me an even basically competitive offer, and competitive was a stretch at the time.
Right.
But so I joined them full time over 6 years ago now. And it's been just a wonderful experience ever since.
Oh, wow. Congrats. And before we go ahead and unpack BombBomb. Just to give you a personal story about myself, being in the mortgage business and all, and working with so many real estate professionals across the GTA, and that's what this show is geared for. Sometimes, I was just rushing, and I got like a 10-question email from a client, and I'm like, you know what, this is going to take forever to type, and I usually type my replies, but I decided, you know what, I'm just going to jump on, grab my iPhone, opened up the camera, recorded a video, and I thought it was as simple as hit email or, text, but email, hit send. Guess what? File too big. And so,
Yeah.
And that's when I started like Googling different options, different apps, and BombBomb came up, and I just fell in love with it. So maybe take a moment and fill in some blanks about BombBomb for those not familiar with it. How was it developed, created? Who was it geared for? And yeah, let's take it there.
Well, thank you. I'm so glad you found us. And by the way, mortgage is our second biggest industry. We serve people in literally any professional capacity. We have customers in, mostly US and Canada, coast to coast, but in dozens of countries around the world, primarily real estate and mortgage, but, college professors and people working at nonprofits and small business owners and literally anyone that wants to communicate more effectively. And so I'll back up from that. But to pick up where you were there, that's one of the best use cases is I have a long and complicated message. It's filled. I need to put it in layperson's terms, right? You're not going to use your mortgage terms with your, front facing with your clients. You need to put it in terms that they can understand and put into play in their own minds and in their own lives. And so this ability just to talk to people and have them experience you in person is one of the key premises that this started under. The founder's story, like where the spark for this thing came from was one of our two co-founders, they're Darren Dawson and Connor McCluskey. I worked with Darren at the TV station, and Connor I met, again, he was a buddy of Darren's, but I met him because he was selling outdoor, selling billboard advertising and, reached out to me as someone at the TV station to see if I wanted to advertise for the television station on billboards.
Right.
And so he came into that business and like a lot of sales jobs inherited a list of, I don't know the number of clients, but you inherit some basic client list so that you can, get going. But he grew it to a point, he was very successful with it, grew it to a point where he could no longer stay face to face with his prospect and client list as much as he wanted to. So contract renewals, lunch appointments, follow-ups on proposals that he put out, holiday greetings, these moments where you would really love to just look someone in the eye, be face-to-face and present with them and say, thank you so much. Or, hey, here are all the details about that proposal we talked about. Let's look at them together and go step by step, see if this is the right thing for you. All those moments that in a real estate professional's life, in a mortgage professional's life, and really in anyone that wants to communicate more clearly and connect with people more effectively, face-to-face is best. But it's time and distance invariably get in our way. You don't have time to get across town to have this conversation in person. And so what we wind up doing is settling for, and you resisted, settling for plain typed out text that doesn't communicate as well as you do. It doesn't differentiate you from any of your competitors. It doesn't build rapport. And it's not nearly as good a customer experience to try to unpack all your full meaning from your plain typed out text. And so that was the premise that we started under is you're better in person, specifically as a sales professional, but really anyone trying to communicate. We've been communicating face to face and verbally since we were on 2 feet as a species. And so it's only been in the past 100 years or so that we've broken that. And now we can send ourselves, besides postal mail, written word, it's only been in the past few generations that we've been able to send our voices and ultimately our faces and our likenesses over time and distance. And so yet we're still relying on that plain typed out text to get these important jobs done for us. And so if you're in a relationship and referral based business where your success is enabled through other people, and what I just did there was basically qualify almost anyone on earth that working in a professional capacity, you're going to be better in person. And when you can't be there in person, video is the next best thing. So that's kind of the main concept of what we're doing is that you're better in person. And when you can't be there in person, this is the next best way to do it.
Yeah, Ethan, couldn't agree with you more. Face-to-face is definitely the number one platform to get in front of someone. And I just realized as listening to you speak that it goes so much deeper than that. For example, are customers not shopping for products, be it insurance, mortgage, real estate? That's a given. And let's say they're interviewing 2 or 3 other companies or individuals and everything is over email. Maybe they had that quick chat. What an amazing differentiating factor would it be to jump on and get in front of someone as opposed to the other 3 or 4 other consultants giving them a quote?
100%. I'll give you 3 specific use cases. And then I would, at some point, I think it's important to double back on your experience with File Too Big. But before we do that, I'll go to 3 very specific use cases around what you just described. The first one is the lead response. So when someone fills out a form online or gets referred to you or whatever your lead generation process is, if you're in even a somewhat competitive situation where they might be shopping one other person or 2 or 3 other people, the National Association of Realtors here in the States put out a stat, something like 2 out of 3 people choose the first person that they meet face to face. And that's a stat, but we know it's in our gut, we know that's true. If we can just make that connection, we're miles ahead of everyone else. And so the first use case is that lead response where you reach out and say, "Hey, Jennifer, Leo here. Our mutual friend Jeff connected us. Just wanted to put a face with the name. Let you know I'll be reaching out to you by phone here really quickly. I wanted to give you all my contact information. You can see that down below. And I really look forward to learning more about your situation and seeing if I can't be of service to you," right? Sure. So now she feels like she knows you before she meets you. Mm-hmm. She knows what your contact information is. And even if she doesn't necessarily reach out to you off that information, when you place that call, there's a greater sense. I don't know about you, but I tend not to take calls that come into my phone that aren't in my contact list. But if I know that you're reaching out to me and I've seen your phone number and I know your area code, there's a much higher chance that I'm going to take the call and or reply to the email or reply to the voicemail. That combination of that human touch along with the phone call creates this a little bit of a sense of obligation and connection to reach back out to you. There's a little bit of a reciprocity there. Like, you took the time to introduce yourself. Now I'm going to reciprocate as a basically decent human being who does things like reciprocate. I'm going to reach back out to you and at least close that gap down. So that's one use case, is that lead response. You can automate that. I encourage you to do it personally if possible.
Love it.
The 2 other use cases, again, in this competitive situation you drew out, are as soon as you set the appointment, right? All of that initial lead follow-up is typically geared towards setting up an appointment, ideally in person. And so as soon as you set the appointment, again, you could do this automated and put all the specific details of the date, time, and location in the body of an email or in the text that follows the video. But again, personal is better. Something like this. "Hey, Jennifer, thank you so much for your time on the phone today. I really look forward to meeting you and your husband Thursday at 4 o'clock at the coffee shop at 8th and Main. I've included down below some information you might want to review prior to then. If you have any questions in the meantime, of course, I'm always here for you. Again, looking forward to meeting you on Thursday," right? So now, again, you're reinforcing yourself when you meet at the coffee shop, or if you're a real estate agent, often on a listing presentation, you're meeting at their home, right? That's an even more personal situation. There's a sense that they know you prior to. So it's not like I'm going to be the guy in the blue jacket, the white shirt, right? How many people are going to be in blue jackets and white shirts? We don't know.
They've already seen you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Leo. I feel like I know you. And so we have companies like window installers and roofers that are doing these personal introductions. So before I come to your home, I'm introducing yourself. I'm going to be coming to your home and I'm going to be working on your windows, or I'm going to be working on your roof, or I'm going to be inspecting your furnace. These people that are moving into your really personal, private space to be of service to you, they're bringing that comfort factor in advance by, I feel a little bit like I know you. I've seen you. I feel like I've met you. So anyway, it's the same dynamic there. And then the last one, and this is the money in the bank, especially in a competitive situation, is after the appointment. And this one has to be personal, because what you're going to do here is, again, thank them for your time, remind them of some of the key things that you heard to let them know that you were in fact listening, that you were paying attention. You're going to touch them again on the things that really lit them up and got them excited. You're going to double back and try to overcome any of the objections that were introduced to you. And that's the thing that, again, against competitors, you're the last person they're thinking about, the person they had the strongest connection with. And so that combination of factors, again, you can automate some of those touches, but the more you can do them personally and speak specifically to people, the better off you're going to be, and you're going to win against competitors more often.
Absolutely. And if I can just recap, Ethan, I heard you say the 3 steps: lead response, setting the appointment, and after the appointment. And basically that's the before, during, and after the initial meet. And to me, I think you can go well beyond BombBomb, and I'm sure you'll agree. Like, for example, even after the transaction closes, if we capture their birthdays or renewal dates or whatever, your children's birthdays, etc., you can take a step further. And if I'm understanding correctly, BombBomb also integrates well with MailChimp and other email autoresponders. So you can literally on autopilot, let's say you have a list of, 50 birthdays this month, just auto, hey, Ethan, just, it's your special day today. Wanted to reach out, wish you a great day. And how cool would that be to take a step further and throw that on autopilot?
Yeah, I love that you went there. So we released earlier this year in January of 2017, we released a brand new product specifically for real estate. And just going all the way back to a question you asked before, we kind of came into real estate in part found us, and we found real estate. And it was just a great fit once we really unpacked the relationship and referral-based nature of it. And it gave us a lot of direction. Prior to that, we were just running, Google AdWords around video and email and things and serving all kinds of different people. But 5 or 6 years into our deep relationships in the real estate community, we finally launched a real estate specific subscription, and we just modified it. We're launching it here end of this year, early next year. We already have people subscribed to it. For mortgage, we've adapted it for mortgage. It's called Prompt. It does exactly what you just described. One of the 3 main layers of it is a one-to-one sending engine where you, Leo, upload your list of clients and birth dates, or clients and closing dates, or both, or any other date-based event. And then you record one video that says, hey, it's Leo. I just wanted to reach out to you and say a very, very happy birthday. I hope you've had a great year, and I hope you're looking forward to another great year ahead. I'm always thinking about you, always rooting for you, and I hope you have a really great day, right? So you didn't name them by name. You didn't say anything specific. And now that will automatically go out to everyone on his or her birthday for you, if you want, in a nice branded email design with a video from you and a basic message.
Oh,
and
I love it. Yeah.
Here's the neat layer of it, though. Every week, we're going to show you 2 weeks of the upcoming 2 weeks of birthday videos or closing date reminders. Hey, congratulations. It's been another year in your home. Thank you again for working with me. If you ever want to talk about refinancing or, getting some funding for upcoming projects, let me know. Or as a real estate agent, you could obviously tweak that message.
Sure.
We tell you the next 2 weeks of emails going out for you, video emails going out for you. Boom, there's Bob. And Bob is a super high value client. He's referred a number of people to you. He's refied with you. He owns multiple properties because he's an investor. And so he's a super valuable client of yours. Or maybe it's Jennifer, who's just a really, really good personal friend that you maybe have never worked with, but she's in your database. She's in your sphere of influence. She may have referred someone to you before, and she's a really close personal friend. When you see some of those relationships in that upcoming list of 2 weeks of one-to-one sending, you just click a button and you can record a personal video for Jennifer. Hey, Jennifer, it's Leo here. A very happy birthday to you. I hope Tim takes you out to a wonderful dinner and pours you a really nice Syrah. I know that's your favorite. I hope you have another great year ahead, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you both at the New Year's party that we always get together at. Take care, have a wonderful birthday, right? And
Beautiful.
so you can overwrite with a truly personal video anytime you want, but everyone else will continue to get the automatic one. And then, of course, we'll remind you like 11 months in that it's time to update your birthday video so people don't get the same video 2 years in a row.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, in terms of the automatic ones, going back, Ethan, do you guys have your own email provider, or are you still integrated with like MailChimp or others?
So from the get-go, we are our own email provider. We regard email delivery, like successful email delivery, as critical to success. And so rather than hiring that out and not having direct management of our sending reputation as a company and sending reputations of our customers, we've always delivered our own email. You can integrate BombBomb with literally hundreds and hundreds of other services through a tool called Zapier. It's Zapier. It's essentially an if-then rules engine for software. So if this happens in MailChimp, make this happen in BombBomb. If this happens in BombBomb, make that happen in Constant Contact, whatever the case may be. But we also have direct integrations with about 24 or so specific real estate services. So companies like Boomtown and Dotloop and Contactually and RealVolve and a number, like dozens. Curator, we just announced one with Curator, a really smart specialty shop that operates out of Boston and Orlando. We have a number of direct integrations. So for example, we have a Zillow and Trulia integration that for any of your listeners south of the border, anytime someone inquires on your Zillow or Trulia profile, you can automatically send this video message. Or if they inquire on one of your listings, you can an auto reply. So we have a number of integrations that allow some automation in this. We also have our own drip automation sequences. So if you want to build a series of emails and video emails, okay, now I have a first-time home buyer lead. What are the most common questions that first-time home buyers have? You record 3 or 4 simple videos so that you can stop answering the same questions over and over again and say, hey, Mary Lou, now that we're chatting and I know that this is your first home purchase, I'm going to be sending you 3 or 4 videos over the next week or so. Be on the lookout for those. They're going to answer all the questions that people just like you tend to have as we get going in the process. Or buyer under contract, seller under contract, all these situations where you tend to get the same questions over and over again. You can build drip sequences, and a form fill or a manual ad can trigger a whole series of emails to go out. So a number of automations through our own platform as well as through integrations with other services.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, Ethan. Can you expand a little bit on your own integration platform, what it looks like, the limit of contacts you're allowed to have, and basically the advantage of using your integration, say, versus third-party ones?
Sure. I'll start with where you were before, and it's a common question we get is, hey, I recorded this video on my iPhone and I'm just going to send it. So our platform was designed from the beginning to make it fast and easy to get face-to-face with people. And so we have an iOS app. So instead of trying to send that on your own, what you could do is just record that straight through the BombBomb app, or you could bring it into the BombBomb mobile app and send it out of there. It goes with your look and your logo and your colors and your branding, and we give you live alerts when someone opens it or clicks a link or plays a video. You get to determine what kind of tracking you want and how you want to get that. It can just sit passively in the background if you prefer as well, and you can just go fetch it at any time. And so we designed a platform to easily record and send videos. You can upload any video into it if you want to, but where people are winning the most is in recording these videos. And so people say, can I just do it myself? And I say, yeah, you can, kinda, but when you send it, typically is going to go as an attachment, whereas when you send it with us, they see your face as an automatically generated 3-second animating preview loop. So they know it's a video, they know it's a 47-second video. And if you happen to use something like a little whiteboard or a sticky note with their name on it or their situation, they know that the video is just for them and it's not like a mass generic email, and it dramatically increases the play rate. So we automatically do things like that. In addition, if you send it on your own and it goes in an attachment, they have to download the entire video before they ever see your face. Or they might see a preview, but they still have to download the whole video. Whereas not only do they see your face right away, but when they click, it's just smart streaming technology, and it just starts streaming and they can experience you right away. And your video always plays in the context of your own branded environment. And so whether you're using our Gmail integration and sending right out of your Gmail inbox, it plays right there with your signature and things. If you send it in a really nicely constructed newsletter style, or just listed, or coming soon, or just sold, or client party invitation, or whatever kind of nice email design you want to make with our email composer, our drag and drop, drag images in, type in words, change the size, change the color, add call to action buttons, drag and drop social media buttons in there, etc. Your video plays inside that branded environment as well. So instead of bouncing out to YouTube where, as soon as your video's done, a bunch of other videos are presented to watch, because YouTube's job is to keep you in YouTube. Your job is to get people to move forward with you and take you up on your calls to action. So if you put in a call to action button that says, RSVP for the client party, your video is going to play adjacent to that. And you say, hey, right down below, click that link, fill out the quick form. And I really look forward to seeing you there and entertaining you, feeding you, giving you drinks, and catching up. Hope to see you at the client party, right? So we do all that for you. So some of the restrictions, to go back to your question very specifically, our two main account levels permit you to bring in 2,500 or 3,500 unique email addresses. You have unlimited video uploads, unlimited video recording and sending. I think our leading mortgage customer right now has recorded and sent about 6,800 videos out of his account. Our leading real estate customer has sent 7,600 videos out of his BombBomb account. So it's unlimited. How much? So you can imagine, when you think about all the text emails you're typing out every day and you think, okay, would this be better if I said it in person? And you just did it 2 or 3 times a day in place of typed out emails, as you did, Leo, at the opening of this podcast. You described that. If you just did that a couple times a day to save yourself some time or make a bigger impact or explain something more clearly, you can get to several thousand videos in a year or two. And so it just means these people have understood the benefit and just found ways to incorporate it into their workflow. So anyway, 2,500 or 3,500 unique email addresses. You can, if you want to, buy buckets of additional contacts. But, because we blend that line between one-to-many, like a Constant Contact or a MailChimp or some of these other big email platforms are really campaign-oriented. They're about mass email. We blend that line and blur that line and make it equally easy to send to one person, as 5 people, as 50 people, as 500 people, as 5,000 people. And so you can do all those things, but we're really geared towards someone that's managing a sphere of influence in a reasonable, you don't know 5,000 people. You may have collected 5,000 email addresses, and you can send to 5,000 people with BombBomb, and we have hundreds, if not thousands, of customers that do that. But we're really oriented toward that mortgage professional or real estate professional who's managing that database of, 300 to 3,000 people, who wants to reach out and mix up that one-to-one touch to past clients, the monthly market update or rate update or newsletter style email every month, and wants to follow up underneath that, segment people and follow up based on the analytics to get to the specific people that are engaging with your messages a little more to provoke more conversation, et cetera.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, Ethan. That perfectly explains the question. And for my own clarification, the autoresponder, let's say birthdays or renewals, for the realtor that has, 300 or 500 clients, you're saying you can put them on, let's say, populate that unique client list with birth dates, and your integration will send out autopilot those birthdays on the birth dates, correct?
Yep, this one-to-one sending engine we built is very specific to our prompt subscription. It also includes pre-written and some other done-for-you elements on a campaign basis. So for real estate professionals, it's 16 times a year. We produce content for you. If you want to record a video, I encourage everyone to record a video. We give you video training on what to say, what that topic is. And what we're doing is kind of mixing up, I don't know if you're familiar with Gary Vaynerchuk's jab, 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 right hook, but it's the easiest. It's the easiest go-to for it. Is we mix the jabs and the hooks for you. So some of them are, tips for homeowners, things of interest to potential buyers and sellers, and then sometimes we're asking for referrals, or sometimes we're saying, I want to give you the new value of your home. Those kinds of things. The right hooks with the bigger asks, and so this prompt subscription includes done-for-you campaign sending. It includes the one-to-one sending engine, and then includes a library of pre-written content And it also includes our professional designers making you an email design that all of these things can be sent out in. And so that engine that we built specifically to automate and manage your one-to-one sending and give you the opportunity to drop in personal videos as part of our prompt subscription that we released in January 2017 for real estate. And we're literally just soft launching right now for mortgage professionals as well. I'm not sure where we're at on that, but I know we have probably 100 mortgage professionals already subscribed, and we haven't really even formally launched it. We've just been talking about it on the phones as we've been connecting with mortgage folks. And so that'll be kicking off here late this year, early next year.
No, and I love the way you unpack that, Ethan, because you guys thought of pretty much everything. It's not just shoot a video, send it out for convenience sake, but you went out and created scripts done for you, campaigns. I mean, what more can the realtor or a mortgage professional or, other vertical professional ask for? Like, to me, I just listening to you speak, realize that you can probably eliminate an internal sales position in a company. Like, for example, when a realtor gets a dozen leads a month or a day or whatever the case is, rather than outsourcing an internal salesperson or hiring one, because they say you have to contact your new lead every week for, I believe, 8 weeks or, whatever. With this Done For You campaign, you can pretty much take that internal sales position and blast them on autopilot. Am I getting that right?
You could. I don't want to get that deep into it, only because that human touch is super valuable. And if you don't have the time to do it yourself, the one thing I will say there is it's really about your return on investment. And so, if you're getting a good return on your salesperson, then it's worth it, right? Like if he or she, it costs you X as salary and Y percent of, converted sales, and that's a net benefit to you, this is only going to increase it. The one divide you made there a little bit, this subscription and this kind of like keeping up with people, you can add your new leads, particularly responsive leads that are maybe, gosh, now that I've talked to you, I understand that you're just really soft exploring right now and you're 12 to 24 months out. I need a way to stay in contact with you. That person's ripe for this. And you can use the analytics to know how much attention they're paying and that kind of help you know when to reach back out again. But until you do that diagnosis of, I just got a new job and I need to figure this out in the next 1 to 3 months, versus, I just know that home values have gone up and I would like to kind of cash out on a little bit of that. And my husband and I were thinking about downsizing, but we could be 24 months out. That person is really good for this type of softer, longer term nurturing. Whereas the 3-month person, you need some dedicated time on his or her case to make that connection, get together in person, become the listing agent or become the buyer's agent contractually against competitors. And so that might be better done with another human being than with our system. So I don't want to prescribe specifically how anyone should run that part of their business, but I hope that divide I made between past clients and those responsive leads that you've diagnosed as being like more medium to long term, and you need a way to stay in front of them, versus hot situations that you need to keep moving forward because the opportunity is right now.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's nothing beats that personal touch and having, a team member on staff. But I'm talking about, and I should have prefaced, let's say you have a brand new realtor, like, or even 3 to 5 years in the business. They don't yet have that budget for a support person.
Oh,
I'm
sure.
thinking this would be ideal situation for them.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it helps you improve your level of communication, the professionalism of it, how nice it looks. Again, if you take us up on this, I really encourage you to watch. We do short videos to train you into each topic so you know what that particular send is about, so you can speak to it and kind of localize it and customize it yourself. Because again, this is done for you. One of the things that we heard after a survey that we did of all the folks that are subscribed on it, we have several thousand real estate professionals on it, and we did a survey of some of our top mortgage customers as we were tweaking the product for the mortgage industry in particular, to get really specific feedback for mortgage. one of the things that we heard from our real estate agents is that they want more choices on these. And so as we roll into 2018, one of the things we're doing is tweaking the language for Canada, right? So, Canada and a lot of the United States have a lot in common, particularly, in those border areas. Like the cultural gaps between Seattle and Vancouver aren't that dramatic, but the cultural gaps, say, between Florida and Manitoba are, right? So one of the tweaks we're making is a track that's a little bit more Canadian focused, where we honor your holidays more specifically because those don't all line up. And we, there are legal differences. There's some subtle differences. And so as we move forward with the subscription, we're dialing in slight variations so that we're talking more like you. You get to choose, so that we're talking more like you in the email bodies. But the video itself is where you really, that face-to-face, you're staying face-to-face with people. And I call this, whether you do it with our prompt subscription or you do it on your own, whether you do it mass or you do it one-to-one or some hybrid solution, what you're building when you're staying in front of your responsive leads and your past clients and your sphere of influence with video on a regular basis is that you're maintaining what I call internet famous in your own sphere of influence. And you don't have to be full of yourself to do this. This maintaining face-to-face, like a lot of people get hung up on that. Like, well, who do I think I am? I'm not, one of these, just to go back to Gary Vaynerchuk, right. The dude's recording videos all the time, and you can't get on, if you're following him, you can't get on LinkedIn or Twitter or Facebook without seeing his face. And you might feel like, well, I'm not that guy. I'm not outspoken. I don't have this huge dynamic personality. I'm just this dude that likes to help people move in and out of homes, or I just like to help people find the best financing situation for themselves and their families, right?
Sure.
Well, people are winning. The guy that has more videos than anyone else in our more videos than any other real estate professional in our database is a very straightforward, soft-spoken gentleman in Oklahoma City, and you wouldn't watch his videos and say, he's the next Gary Vaynerchuk. You're just going to watch him and say, when I run into that guy at the grocery store, I'm going to feel like I know him, even if I've never met him in person. Or when I greet him, I'm going to greet him a lot more warmly because he's been in my inbox. And so again, just draw the parallel back to my previous career in local television. This is your local weather person or your local news anchor or your local reporter where, 2-3 decades ago, when a lot more people watched a lot more television, they had much closer relationships with these personalities because they were in their home every night or several nights a week, depending on how often you watched. And so that's this internet famous in your own sphere of influence. And if you're a television personality in the 1970s or 80s, when a lot more people watched television more often, everyone knew you. And so when you went out, you'd get those sideways looks or those second glances. And sometimes you'd get those conversations like maybe a sports star or now an internet celebrity might get. This is much more subtle, much more natural, and much more comfortable because it's not this, oh my gosh, can I get your autograph? It's, oh my gosh, Leo, my name's Jennifer, and we've only met once, but I've been watching your videos, and that one you sent 2 months ago was so helpful for me. It came at just the right time because I was struggling with that problem or question. So thanks. And so those are conversations that I'm having. Like when I personally go out and travel, for example, I was up in Toronto last fall for a Remax Integra event, and I had a number of conversations with people I've never personally met before, because they recognized me from the videos that I sent because they tried BombBomb free or they subscribed to our newsletter or their customers or whatever. And so I'm just standing at the coffee and tea cart, pouring some coffee or tea, and someone comes up and says, hey, Ethan with BombBomb, hey, I want to tell you this story about something that I tried out. And so those are conversations I never would have had if I wasn't sending videos. If I was sending text emails from the from name Ethan at BombBomb, from the from email address Ethan at BombBomb.com. By the way, anyone is welcome to email me. I promise to send you a video back, especially if you reach out with a question, I'll answer it. And the email signature, Ethan Beute, Vice President Marketing, BombBomb, Colorado Springs, Colorado, USA. Those are conversations I wouldn't be having if I was only sending with all those criteria. My name is all over all those things, and you could greet me as Ethan at BombBomb, but you wouldn't be able to pick me out of a crowd. You wouldn't feel like you knew me before you saw me. And when you recognize me, boom, your brain clicks on and say, I know that guy. Boom, how do I know that guy? Boom, oh yeah, he's that guy that sends those videos out.
That's
right?
it. Yeah,
And
face
so
to the name. Yeah.
yeah, and so I hear that from our customers all the time is just more conversations, warmer greetings, and for the people that you've never met before, going back to that lead response, they feel like they know me before they ever meet me, and that is the power of what we're doing. It's much more personal and much more human. It makes your job more of a pleasure. In addition to being more successful through this practice, reaching out in a more personal and human way, if you truly are about the relationship and not just the transaction, this is going to bring more joy to your work.
Right, right. And no, I appreciate you unpacking that, Ethan. And just before we wrap up and talk about pricing, is there a personal story or two that sticks out? You know, a recent story from a real estate professional that had a success story to share using your service, BombBomb?
Sure. I mean, if you go to bombbomb.com/blog and you go to the downloads section, we did an entire series called 7 Stories. And what I did was organize success stories from 49. I did 7 issues of 7 stories, in part in homage to our office on the 7th floor of the Wells Fargo Tower in downtown Colorado Springs. So 7 stories up, 7 stories per issue, 7 issues. I don't know how I got caught on that 7, but it seemed to work for me, and so I just did it. You can hear a lot of stories. I'll give you a mortgage story that's in one of the issues. I forget which one, but it was a mortgage professional who got an invite. A real estate broker owner was opening a brand new real estate office and was throwing an open house. Obviously, a great opportunity to bring people together, celebrate the success of his business. And maybe do some recruiting of agents and just throw a party. A lot of good things happening there all at one time. So it turns out that as a lot of real estate owners are doing, they're co-officing with a mortgage lender. Our customer, a mortgage lender whose job is to kind of generate business for all the loan officers. So he's a little bit of like a rainmaker type role. Shows up at this party and he sees the guy that is opening the office. It's like his 3rd or 4th office in the market. Sees the guy, but he's always in conversation. He can only stay for about 30 minutes because he's got another obligation, our mortgage customer. Can't connect with him in person. And so the next morning he sends a quick personal video that says, "Hey, just wanted to thank you for the invite. I really enjoyed the party. I didn't want to interrupt you. You were in conversation the whole time. I just wanted to look you in the eye and say congratulations. I'm really excited for you. And if you ever have time for a 15, 30-minute appointment, I'd love to connect with you directly and have the conversation we were not able to have last night. And let me know."
Amazing.
Within 5 minutes, he has a reply. He sees the video has been played, and so he's expecting a reply, gets a reply, and the next morning he's in the guy's office having a conversation about how he can connect his agents with his loan officers. And literally on the other side of the wall is the office of the president of one of his biggest competitors, another mortgage company. And the video introduction is what created that opportunity for him. I've got dozens and dozens and dozens of these. So I've published some of them. You can get them at bombbomb.com/blog. If you click the downloads thing, I put them into like pretty little PDFs where you can read the stories and click and watch any of the videos if you want to hear them directly. But we've got them for days, and it's really a pleasure. And it's what brings me joy in my work every day is hearing those stories of success.
Very cool. And if you think about it logically, makes perfect sense. You're putting that, name to the face or face to the name, and you're connecting with someone almost virtually. And if it takes winning the lead or winning the relationship, purpose served. So
yeah.
If you can just give us a glimpse about the pricing, the packages that you offer at BombBomb, Ethan, that would be very helpful. And of course, I'm going to link all that up into the show notes after as well.
Awesome. First and foremost, if you like anything that you heard, the best step to see if it's a good fit for you is to try it absolutely free. We always offer a 2-week free trial, no credit card information required, a truly free opportunity for you to get in there, try it out, hook it up on your iPhone or your Android, get our Google Chrome extension and send it from Gmail, hook up some of the integrations I mentioned. You have full access to the platform short of that campaign sending and one-to-one sending I mentioned, but you have access to all the integrations and features. And it's 2 weeks, so reach out to some family members or friends to kind of warm into it. If you're uncomfortable on video out of the gate, you're not alone. It's just something that you need to get a little bit comfortable with, but it's just like, ultimately, it's like being across the table over coffee or lunch and talking to people. You're just doing it through your webcam or your smartphone. And these don't need to be perfect. The bar is much lower than you think, especially if you're just getting started. So a 2-week free trial is a good start. We have 3 subscription levels. First one is called individual. It's $468 per year. You can also subscribe monthly. It's like a 20% gap there. If you subscribe for the year, it's 20 or 25% less expensive than it is on a month-to-month basis. And you get all the integrations, mobile apps, et cetera, et cetera. You have unlimited sending to up to 2,500 unique email addresses. You have our email composer to make those nice email designs I talked about for like newsletters or market updates or client party invites or holidays, et cetera, and a number of other benefits. At $588 per year, that's US dollars. At $588 per year, you get everything that you get in individual, but you also get some of our automation features, including the drip sequences, the automation function. You get lead capture forms, which we didn't talk about, but people are setting up lead capture forms and running Facebook ads at them to, for coming soon or just listed, or get my guide for 5 tips for first-time home buyers in the GTA. Fill out this form and it can automatically deliver the PDF that you made for, or a 5 email sequence or a 5 video sequence with 5 tips for first-time home buyers in the GTA, whatever the case may be. To get our automation sequences, lead capture forms, and you also get 3,500 unique contacts. So you get 1,000 more space for 1,000 more contacts in there. But again, unlimited sending and unlimited videos. And then our prompt subscription retails at $14.99 and per year. And that is now, again, for mortgage as well as real estate. And that includes everything you get in the other packages, including the automations, plus the campaign sending we talked about, plus the one-to-one sending we talked about, plus an email design of your own to wrap all these things in, plus access to a library with dozens and dozens of pre-written emails that you can use as is, add a video into, or change the copy and to make it more for you. But just so that you're prepared for most occasions that a real estate or mortgage person might run into throughout their day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month. We have a library of pre-written content that comes with that prompt subscription as well.
Fantastic.
But the best way is to try it free. Take us up on we'll reach out and see if you want to schedule an appointment. We'll learn more about you and how you run your business. And we're working with thousands and thousands of people, mostly in North America, coast to coast in US and Canada. And so we can share stories specific to other people who are like you and unpack specific value for you to help you decide whether it's going to be a good fit for your business.
Super. That is awesome, Ethan. Thank you so much for that insight. And just before we wrap up, any final parting words for our audience?
No. Again, if anyone has any questions, I welcome you to email me, ethan@bombbomb.com. Really excited to be on. I appreciate you reaching out. I think we've got a link. If anyone wants to participate in what we just talked about, whether free or as a subscriber, drop a link in the show notes for them. A special link for the folks that listen to this episode. And again, we're just trying to humanize your business, help you lead with your own best sales asset, which is yourself. And so we think we make that fast and easy to do. And we've designed a platform just for the types of people that would be part of your community, Leo.
Love it, Ethan. And thank you so much for being generous and candid with your time today. And much continued success to you personally and BombBomb. And we look forward to connecting with you very soon.
Thank you kindly.
All the best. Take care.
Take care.
And there you have it, guys. Another awesome episode with Ethan from BombBomb. And be sure to check out the complete show notes to this episode by heading on over to leofalkowski.com. And be sure to check out the mortgage section offering the most complete programs and best rates our industry has to offer. Never lose a real estate transaction over financing again. Till next time, stay great, everyone.